So it looks like the narrative of the whole supply chain issue continues to evolve, and it looks like food is that they're going to be the foundation of it, and how they're going to hold food hostage until you comply or until they get as many people as possible to participate. Let's talk about this. Okay, so it's been a minute since I've done a little quick take. Thought I would take a minute to share some 2 cents on a video came across earlier today. And it's very disturbing, but yet very informative in the fact that slowly but surely, more information comes out into the real agenda of what's really going on. And of course, it has nothing to do with the the bottleneck issues of the supply chain and all the excuses that's being given right now. I even saw an article earlier that talked about how because of those that have not participated on the chips in the seaports, they're not allowed inside the ports until they fully participate as well. So all those narratives that were being given. But yet also I came across a video.
What is sitting in all these containers behind us?
Everything.
Longshoremen telling me some of these containers have been sitting here for 6 months, with a shortage of truck drivers to get the goods on the highway and into stores. It's not just making things harder to find, it's making them more expensive.
Today, we face an economy that's in transition. And as part of that transition, we are seeing high prices for some of the things that people have to buy. But the reality is that the only way we're going to get to a place where we work through this transition is if everyone in America and everyone around the world gets vaccinated. That's why the president continues to be focused on the idea that we get everyone who can vaccinated in this country.
An Austrian article came out a couple days ago on this video here. But it looks like the Secretary Treasuries, it looks like a Wale Adeyemo, came out making some very outlandish statements that really don't make any sense, but it just further tells more of their overall agenda. And it has nothing to do with the idea of the supply chain being the primary issue. It's all about how can they further squeeze people and put people in a dire situation to where they'll have to participate, and of course in this whole global pandemic. But just something he mentioned that really stood out is the fact that he stated that our economy is going through a transition.
Today we face an economy that's in transition.
And that's one of the things that no further explanation was given. What exactly do you mean a transition? Where are we heading to? And how will people participating in this experimentation further help this transition, making it easier on your everyday person? And of course, the transition I want to talk about a little bit. Of course, we've talked about it, and it has everything to do with the globalist agenda towards this Build Back Better initiative, which of course, none of the true side effects is actually being discussed whatsoever, because all the politicians, both left and right, are all in it to some extent. And then also today as well, there's rumors floating around that Pelosi, once she gets this Build Back Better agenda passed, she might end up stepping down. So it appears to be that the ultimate goal is just to get this thing rolling with this Build Back Better agenda by any means necessary. And so it looks like, if this is true, Pelosi might be willing to cut short her lifelong career in Congress in order to further this agenda. But yet this transition that the Wally guy spoke about, it's part of the global takeover. They're going to use food as a hostage to make sure that as many people as possible comply. And that might be the backbreaker for a lot of us submission that goes forth moving forward. Because as we are seeing more and more pictures of shelves being depleted, did you also hear what those guys said in that video about the fact there's been containers sitting at the port for approximately 6 months that haven't been moved? And of course, they gave their list of excuses as to why that has been the case. But the food is there, the goods are there. They just don't want us to have it. Why? Because they want to squeeze us out. They want to get the last remaining people who have not participated involved before they move on to the next phase, which in my opinion will not be peaceful, to say the least. But anyway, thought I would just share my 2 cents on this video real quick. The transition is well underway. It's nothing about the supply chain. It's all about the food and starving us out. So what does that mean? Continue to get your weight up to protect yourself in a financial sense, but more importantly, on a day-to-day side of things, you're going to need calories. So ultimately, get your calories up, and that's one thing I'm also be talking more about as well, because it's becoming more and more obvious that food and water is at the backbone of all this. And the more they cut off all the ports and all the exit points and entry points to this country for food, that means a more dire situation people fall into. So anyway, hope everyone's well. Love to hear your thoughts on this video. Leave a comment down below. Get your weight up, but more importantly, also get your calories up. See you guys later.